You did not fall today. You've been falling for years. And perhaps you still don't know the name of what is destroying you. But today, the door has opened, and what lies beyond it is not comfort. It is truth. You feel it, in the silence of your room, between dim lights and clouded thoughts. You feel it, a heat that starts in your gut and slithers through your veins like a serpent. But it's not just the flesh, it's your spirit crying out for something it doesn't even know how to name. You call it lust, desire, need, impulse. But is that what it really is? Or is it a longing for something sacred? Your body speaks. With sweat, with pulse, with visions rising in your mind like seeds sown by the world. But it doesn't scream only for pleasure, it cries for meaning. Your body is not your enemy, but it has become a battleground between what you feel and what your soul needs. You learn to respond to desire like someone answering a doorbell, quickly, automatically, without thought. The urge comes, the screen lights up, the click happens, the release follows, and then the emptiness. Pleasure lasts seconds, but absence lingers for days. You think lust gives you power, but what it gives you is weakness, not in your muscles, in your soul, a fatigue without a name, but heavy like a weight you've carried for years. You think you're a man because you feel desire. Every animal feels, but only a man can offer fire to the altar. Only a man understands that strength is not in consumption, but in consecration. Your body is not a playground, it is a temple. And temples demand order, silence, reverence. You feel the craving? Good. That means you're alive. But if your life is ruled by craving, then who's sitting on the throne? Not you. And certainly not God. It's your flesh, your addiction, the loop you've repeated so many times you stopped questioning it. But no man becomes his own guardian by living on autopilot. There's a voice inside you, quieter than lust but stronger. It says, there is more than this. You ignore it. You drown it with videos, touches, distractions. But it's still there. It always was. That voice is the call. Not to suppress you, but to redeem you. To take your hunger and point it upward. To turn desire into direction. To light the body's fire on the altar of the soul. This is not about morality. This is about power. The power to stop being a slave. The power to wake up from a global hypnosis. You weren't born for pixels. You were born to build, to lead, to be a foundation others can stand on. But first, you must become an altar. An altar where desire isn't denied, it's offered. Where the flesh doesn't rule, it serves. Where the spirit doesn't flee, it dwells. Your body screams for lust, but what your soul needs, you thought you were in control. That every click was your decision. That every video was harmless relief. That this routine was common, normal, understandable. But time passed, and what was once a distraction became a cycle. What was once a choice became a prison. You didn't fall today. You've been falling for years. With each fall, something in you goes silent. Your soul whispers less. Your body commands more. You wake up exhausted, even after 8 hours of sleep. You go to the gym, but feel something draining your strength from within. You try to pray, but your words hit the ceiling. You try to fast, but hunger screams louder. And it's not hunger for food, it's hunger for meaning. But you don't know how to feed the soul with clicks. And then comes the weight, the guilt, the shame. You try to justify, everyone does it. But something inside you won't let that excuse hold, because you're not everyone. Because God didn't call you to be a number, a statistic, another man ruled by pixels. This is the dark night of the soul, a time where everything feels dry, silent, heavy. You sing worship songs, but feel distant. You read scripture, but it feels cold. Not because God has left you, but because you've let dust cloud the connection. You replace the altar with a screen, and now you feel the silence. It's not the absence of God, it's the dulling of your spirit. It's your discernment fading, your sight blurring. You start to doubt everything. Am I really saved? Am I strong enough? Am I still loved? The enemy whispers, you've gone too far. There's no return. A lie. There is return. But it demands confrontation. Not with others, with yourself, with your habits, with your cycles, with the roots that keep you bound. As long as you avoid the pain, it will chase you. But the day you face the mirror and stare down what you've become, that's the day healing begins. The dark night of the soul is not punishment, it's purification. It's the space where light doesn't appear, but grows. Where God feels silent, but is digging deeper, stripping idols, breaking illusions, preparing you. This desert is not abandonment, it's fire, not a fire that destroys, a fire that refines. It's silence that doesn't suffocate, it teaches. It's tears that don't drown, they cleanse. And if you're there now, don't run, stay, because this night will pass, and the man who walks out of it will never be the same. Then it happens, not loudly, not in a burst of light, but quietly. A flicker inside you begins to glow, still weak, still trembling, but real. A fire not meant to consume, but to warm. A light not from the outside, but from within. This is the awakening, the moment when something in you stands back up. You start to notice the small battles, that second before the click, that sudden urge to escape through pleasure, that split moment that decides everything, and for the first time, you choose to resist, in this not perfectly, but intentionally, and that is power. The awakening of the watchman is not a show, it's discipline in secret, it's devotion without applause, it's the moment prayer stops being duty and becomes breath. It's when the word, once dry, starts to cut, not to wound, but to free. You remember who you were, what you're made of, and why you were called. You stop waiting to feel pure and start walking toward purity. You begin with trembling hands, with stained garments, with a trembling voice. But you begin, because God doesn't wait for the clean. He sanctifies those who come. And slowly, you say no. At first with fear, then with honor. At first like a soldier, then like a king. You realize the desire doesn't vanish, it gets redirected. It gets sanctified. You still feel, but now you feel for purpose. You burn for mission. You desire to build, not consume. You become a watchman, not just of your body, but of your soul. You see differently. You walk slower. You speak less. You think longer. You pray deeper. You realize this. The same energy that once fed your lust now fuels your clarity. And the altar within you burns again, not with shame, but with presence. You no longer ask, why can't I do what others do? You ask, how do I stay on fire? Because this is not a season, it's a vow, and the watchman never sleeps. You're no longer the same, not because everything outside has changed, but because something within you has been reordered. You walk differently now, not with swagger, but with weight. Not with noise, but with gravity. This is what happens when a man returns, not as a hero, but as a guardian. The return of the guardian is not about perfection. It's about sacred responsibility, about knowing the depth of your own darkness and choosing light anyway. You are not here to impress. You are here to protect, to guard your mind, to guard your spirit, to guard the space around you so others can rest in your presence. You've been to the pit. You've heard the lies, you've felt the shame, but now you carry clarity. You still feel desire, but it no longer rules you. You still feel the pull, but your feet stand firm. Because now you know, your body is not a weapon of self-destruction. It's a vessel of purpose. Your eyes aren't windows for lust, they are beacons of vision. Your hands aren't tools of indulgence, they are instruments of creation. Your mouth isn't for escape, it is for truth, for prayer, for declarations of power. You've become an altar, a man who burns for God, not for pleasure. A man who builds instead of consumes. A man who leads from silence and speaks from fire. And now others feel it. Women feel safer near you. Children trust you. Men respect you. Not because you're loud, but because you're anchored. You've returned, not to comfort, but to battle. Not to fit in, but to set apart. You don't crave the old cycles. You don't chase temporary highs. You stand on eternal ground. Because the guardian has returned, not just for himself, but for generations. And this is your vow. You will not be ruled by what you were meant to master. You will not offer your altar to lust. You will not forget the fire that purified you. You are a man of prayer, a man of silence, a man of vision, a man of power. You are the interruption to every curse, the one your bloodline has been waiting for. So now, stand tall, burn bright, stay awake. Your body once screamed for lust, but now your soul has built an altar, and on that altar, God dwells forever.